Welcome back to another episode of Hear Us Out.
I'm your boy Jay Bizzle.
And this your boy Keith Jones, and we back with another interesting topic for y'all.
And today, y'all, we gotta dive into something that a lot of people might need to hear around this time of year. So we're gonna be diving into mental health. Now, that being said, we might be a little long-winded with this, but at the same time, we're trying to help raise awareness and also speak about our personal experiences dealing with it. Let's get it, my boy.
Yes,
all right.
Sir.
What is your standpoint on like mental health in general? Like, how do you feel about it?
I feel like mental health is important, and I feel like people need to make mental health like one of their top priorities for real, because it's a very serious thing. And if you really going through something, I feel like you need to seek help.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us, it boils down to like a pride thing, and a lot of people don't like to seek help.
Yeah, that's one of the points I had. Like, a lot of people feel ashamed to like go get help, especially when dealing with like something that's mental. Like, growing up, I mean, even as a kid, you didn't really hear about like depression and anxiety like that. But it's like now in this day and age, there's almost like it's almost a trendy thing.
Yeah.
Because like it's a lot more that goes into like that. Like, we talked about social media, how that kind of affects it too.
Yeah.
And like with that being one of the biggest things in the world right now, a lot more people are dealing with mental health issues.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And I feel like with our generation, it's a lot more out there versus like our parents and our grandparents' generation, because they didn't really deal with it. They was always told to move on, you know.
Mm-hmm. And also, as far as their generation, they didn't really have a choice. They just had to just like work through it. Just go like, hey, you have a bad day, or well, you got tomorrow to look forward to. You got to feed your family. You like, they didn't really have time to even deal with that. But it's like in our day and age, it feel like we have all the time in the world. So all we literally do is like either we in front of a phone or something like that, and we just have more time to internalize a lot of feelings. If that makes sense.
That is true. Like, how important would you say is like mental health awareness?
I honestly feel like suicide rates are ridiculous right now.
Oh yeah.
And even just like people as far as having any other type of mental problem, like whether it's being bipolar, having anxiety or whatever, it's slept on. People just always like, it's in your head. Yes, it is in your head. That's the issue though. Like, people don't really understand or grasp the fact that like your brain and the chemicals in your brain are not, in sync with each other.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But again, that goes to that older generation, not.
Yeah. And I feel like if you are going through something, try to find hobbies, try to find things that'll take your mind off of it, so you won't just sit and have time to be with your thoughts all the time. Do something, go outdoors, go to the gym, whatever it may be. Go out with friends. Make sure you surround yourself with good, like-minded, individuals.
Yeah, it is. I'm glad you say that. It is good to have a circle of people, not only who will be there for you, but who have an understanding of mental health and like understand how important it is to make sure you maintain good mental health. Because you can have some friends where like you come to them like, hey, I'm dealing with this mental. They're like, bro, you good, bro? You'll be all right. It's all in your head, bro. Just come on. They're like stuff like that. That's not. I don't feel like that's the way to go about it. But if you do have a genuine friend, you be like, yo, I'm like, me and you, we do like me, you, even with Caroline, I'm like, yo, how you doing mentally? Like, look, that's just something that I feel like as a friend you should do. Just like check on your friend's mental health.
Yeah, I feel like not only should that friend check on you, make sure that friend got your best interest in heart, because somebody that wouldn't have your best interest in heart would be like, man, so quit,
Yeah.
So, yeah, make sure they have your best interest in heart.
And honestly, like, I don't think we should ignore the signs either. Because if you're a good, true friend, you would notice if your friend is spiraling.
Yeah.
Or you'll notice if your significant other is spiraling and stuff like that. Because, honestly, Caroline came to me about that like a few weeks ago. She was like, I noticed like this has been something I've been struggling to tell you, and I didn't want you to take it the wrong way. I've been trying to find the right way to tell you, but I've noticed that you've been like this, you've been more tired, you've been stress eating more, and like I know her telling me this, like you also gain a little weight. I mean, but like the fact that she even took the time to notice, like, hey, I know this is not normally you, and you've been kind of off lately. Are you okay? Like, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's good that she actually taking the time out her day to check on me.
Oh yeah,
because whether people want to hear it or not, like it's a lot of signs like showing that somebody is really going through something. Whether they may be sleeping all day, eating like stress eating, like not want to talk to anybody. It's a lot of signs.
I'm a victim of the stress eating. I ain't gonna like I really am because it's just between telling jokes or doing stuff like that. That's how I cope with stuff. If I feel myself getting overwhelmed, I'm just like, oh, dang, let me go get Zaxby's or something like that. Just like and think about it, or just watch TV and eat. But I mean, it's not the best way to go about it. But at the same time, like I do realize that's something that I that stands out, especially when I feel like I'm not 100% mentally.
Yeah, I would say with me, it's the being in bed all day. Like if I'm going through, like I literally got to force myself to, get up out of bed and start my day.
I honestly wouldn't see you as an NBA type person. Honestly.
Like it just like if I'm going through, like, but normally not really.
Well, you damn sure don't stress eat. I tell you. I'm joking. Yeah. But also what goes into it is finding proper coping. Because again, like I said, stress eating, that's my personal thing. I know it's not healthy, but it's good to have, like you said, an outlet or something like that channels that in a good way. And I know a lot of people might be against it, but therapy is one thing that helped me.
Yeah. And I feel like it's also good to like know your signs, like know what you do that puts you in those type of things, and it's good to own up to it.
Yeah,
owning up to it, so that's a step in the right direction, hey, my boy. Yeah. So.
I mean, I've been to therapy like twice, but hopefully I learned something from it. I took something from it. But let me ask you this: how do you feel about the medication aspect of mental health?
Me, I really don't like the, medication aspect, because when I was going through and like something, like when my mama passed away, like the doctor was trying to give me like something, to calm my nerves, and I wasn't taking that shit. Like straight up, like no, like when I'm going through, I want to feel like every emotion, so I know what it feel like, so I can get through it. Like if I'm steady taking medicine, like that ain't gonna help me. That's just it's go kind of make me cope in a way, but it's not gonna do anything. It's doing more bad than good.
It's like a temporary fix.
Yeah.
Which is scarily enough why people tend to go to drugs and stuff like that, because it's a temporary fix to their problems.
Yeah.
Me personally, I kind of agree to that. The first time I went to therapy, they gave me it was mandatory therapy, and because you know what? Story time. I'm sorry. I gotta tell it, bro. Because like I don't want to just give like half the story.
Yeah.
So a few years ago, it was around 2019. I was dealing with a lot. I was still getting used to being at Aiken because like I came up here for college. I had a few friends, but it wasn't like too many here.
Yeah.
And me and my mom were having issues. I worked and was going to I was working full time and going to school full time and also doing shows. Yeah. So like between working like 5, 6, 7 days straight, going to school like 5 days straight, traveling to and like back and forth to shows, like after a while it got old. I ain't gonna lie, I was getting burnt out.
Yeah. That's very overwhelming.
Yes, it was very overwhelming. I was getting super burnt out. And also I remember the girl I was talking to at the time, I ain't gonna say her name, but but the girl I was talking to at that time, I was letting her know like, hey, I'm not doing okay right now. Like, it's a lot on my plate. I barely sleep. I'm doing this. I don't have nobody to really go to. And she like the only person I really had at the time. My best friend, like an hour away and stuff. Like it was just like a lot. And I was trying to explain it to her. And she was like, "Oh my God, you're not the only person in the world with problems." I'm just like, dang, I'm really coming to you like as a man, vulnerable right now.
Trying to vent.
Go back to the vulnerability episode. but
go check that out.
Go check that out. But like, I'm being like, at that moment, I was like, dang, people generally don't give a damn about what I got going on. Yeah. And on top of that, I was in my head as far as performing too, because I was going through this thing where I felt like, oh, people love you when you're on stage, but off stage, people don't really give a damn about you. It's just like, I felt like I had to put on this fake facade and just be like, oh yeah, this me, I'm joking, I'm funny, ha ha ha. But then when I get off stage, I'm just like, back to, going through all that. And it just felt like I was trying to battle between who I really am and who people want me to be. And gave me like an identity crisis for a little bit there too. Yeah. Moving up a little bit, I was at work, just tired, ready to go home. And I remember my mom worked there too. And she was like, Jay, what is wrong with you? You just haven't been yourself. I'm like, Mom, be honest, I do not love myself right now. I don't like how my life is going right now. It's just a lot. And like, I'm done. Like, I'm tired of being here. And like, the fact that I even told my mom that, I know that messed her up a little bit. Yeah. But I honestly had a plan. I'm not proud of it, but I take blood pressure medicine because, I mean, like I said, I stress eat. And I was planning to just take all of my pills that night when I got off work, just because like I just felt too much of like all the emotions. Yeah. And sadly enough, what convinced me to not take those pills was getting a call saying that my best friend was in the hospital. And like, as soon as I heard that, I sped to Greenwood. It take me like an hour to get to Greenwood. I got to Greenwood in 30 minutes, bro. I kid you not. I was speeding. And I get to the hospital. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm pretty sure he'd be cool with me telling this story. But like, come to find out, my best friend was in the hospital for trying to commit suicide himself. So it's crazy. Like, it messed me up even more. I'm like, dang, I'm over here thinking about killing myself. And what saved me from killing myself was my best friend trying to kill himself. So my mind was just like completely messed up at that point, bro. And like, it's not funny, but looking back, it kind of is, because I remember they called me back to the room. He wanted to see me go back there. He loopy on whatever drugs he took that day. Just talking out his mind. He was like he was saying some goofy stuff, and like we just sitting there laughing and joking about like, all right, bro, on a serious note, why? Like, why did you do this? Yeah. He's like, honestly, bro, I've been going through a lot too. I don't remember exactly what he was going through at the time. He's like, I've been going through a lot too. And he was like, I know you've been going through a lot, but I didn't feel like I could come to you about it because I know you're dealing with your own stuff. Yeah. And he told me, he was like, as selfish as this gonna sound, I would rather, I knew you're going through this, and I know you probably think about it because like we like twins. It's weird, but we can feel what each other feeling. And he was like, I used to cry every time I tell this story, but he told me, the reason why I tried to do it because I knew you would be here for me if I tried. Yeah. But you wouldn't tell nobody if you tried to do it. And the world needs you here. The world needs your light. So
they sure do, bro.
Like, okay, there you go. I promise I ain't gonna cry. Yeah. But I promise, this literally what he said, like, the world needs your light. So I knew me going through this, and I knew you would stop whatever you're doing to come here to be for me, because that's the type of person you are, and you need to still be here to continue to be that person. And I was like, bro, you literally on drugs, looped up, telling me this shit, bro. I was that's like, deep, bro. It is, and like it, but like still, it messed me up. Cause I'm like, yo, this is my best friend. I'm so in my head about my own stuff. I didn't even recognize he was going through his stuff. Yeah, and I appreciate it. But like, nah, I called my mom and I told her, I was like, Mama, I need to get help. I'm not okay. And like, I told her what he said, and I was like, that made it worse because I felt like a crappy friend. And I took myself to a mental hospital. I was in there for like a week. They gave me medication. That was a long way to get to there. I'm sorry, but like, they gave me medication, and they like gave me mandatory therapy. Yeah. And one thing I hated was how the medication made me feel. I felt numb to everything. Like, I literally, I just felt like a walking zombie. I hated it. So
and that's why I'm kind of iffy on the medication part.
And like, I will say, for some people it does work. I'm not saying, but I don't feel like that should be your first thing. You shouldn't just go up to them like, okay, you put me on this type of medicine. Like, no, you should try your best to work out your stuff in a healthy way without using like medication. But if medications, if it actually does its job, and keeps you calm, then yes, that's the route to go. But me personally, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I feel that. And I feel like when you said he had his problems and you his problems, I feel like as friends, I feel like we need to make like different groups where we come together and talk about our problems.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes you don't want to talk about your problems to everybody. And sometimes your problems, you may not think other people understand. But, if somebody going through the same thing as you, talk about it together.
And yeah, and I hate that, like, because honestly, I've had a few friends that I've known that have either tried to like went through with it and sadly enough, I mean, yeah, it messed with you. Just seemed like, dang, I could have called or I could have reached out more and stuff like that. And I don't think many people who have the thoughts of suicide understand how it affects the people who have to live on after you gone.
Yeah.
And I remember one day it was literally something told me just check on this person. You ain't heard from him, well, just check on him, just check on him. And like I was at work, I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow or whatever. Then by the time I even got to the point to actually do it, come find out they committed suicide. I was like, I should just went with that. And suicide is the heavy part of mental health though. Like that's when people get to that point, that's when they feel like nothing in life is going right. That's when it's hard turning back from that. It really is.
Like, can you just imagine like what somebody is going through to they get to that point in life? Like, you got to have a lot on your mind. Like, you got to be going through a lot.
Have you ever been at that point?
I feel like I've been close, but I know like I feel like I love myself too much, and I feel like I got to be here for folks.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah.
Honestly, for me it took a lot for me to actually learn how to love myself for me versus that fake person who I used to be on stage. Like now, I can genuinely say the type of my style of comedy now it comes from not from me trying to put on for other people. It comes from me just genuinely doing something that I love doing, and sometimes I talk about what the stuff that hurt me, and like that's not a way to cover it up. It's a way for me to. It's an outlet for me.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't even do it to try to be famous or try to. It's just literally that's how I am on a day-to-day basis. Some days I'm mad, some days I'm happy, but at the end of the day, I'm still gonna make a joke about it. Yeah. Like you're like, oh my, I don't remember what I said, but what they were. I said, so you're like, of course, Jay gotta make a joke. Like, oh, if anybody gonna make a joke, it's gonna be you. I don't remember what it was that day, but I remember. Oh man, but
yeah.
But I do feel like more people should actually be open and be willing to go get help if need be, or if you're having suicidal thoughts, reach out to somebody, whether it be close friend, parent, or whoever you're close to. Hell, even one of us if need be. Because like I know Michael a good listener, I know I'm a good listener. It's just some people just don't feel like they have that, and sometimes you need that. Like it could literally be that one person to just listen that can prevent that.
And I feel like with me, like with my situation, like when my mama passed, like my thing was like journaling. I titled my journal. I called it my prayers to God or whatever, and that really helped me like cope with a lot. Like I used to journal every day, just it used to help me get my thoughts out.
Yeah, honestly, I could see you doing that, especially with how. Believe it or not, Michael actually pretty verbal and good with his words. Like some people, like when they first come to the shop, but like no, just even some of the. I haven't read like your journaling, of course, but just like even hear some of the poems you came up with, or just some of the like random thoughts you came up with, like I could see how that would be a good outlet for you.
Yeah, cause like when I was depressed, like my depression came from my mama passing away, of course, but like I would have to say that's like the hardest thing I done ever had to go through in life.
Really. I wouldn't want to wish that on nobody.
Yeah, like
I can only.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Like Cause I was only 17 at the time, and so
And that's still honestly kind
yeah,
of fairly recent. Like you
yeah,
think about it.
yeah. That's 2018, so
That ain't
yeah,
that ain't
that
that
ain't
far
that
ago.
long ago. Yeah, yeah,
Honestly, I'm kind of glad you can like talk about it now.
yeah.
Um,
It be hard sometimes, but I done got better at it.
Stronger, of course.
Yeah, I feel like time heals all wounds for real.
Like, okay, so besides the journaling and just like, of course, like time, like what
Yeah,
else helped you through that time?
just talking to people. That like me and my sister, we talked about it all the time because we went through like the exact
Yeah,
same
y'all went through
thing.
it
Like
together.
me and my sister, we done cried together, we done laughed together. Like it's always good to have somebody to talk to about things who actually like understand where you coming from. Because if I was to, talk to anybody else, I'm not sure if they would have like understood like where I was coming from or how I felt. But she understood like how I felt. She knew where I was coming from, everything. So yeah, I was blessed to have my sister. Like I can't imagine like how that would have been if I would have been like the only child. Like
Oh yeah,
that shit would have probably been bad though. Like,
and I'm glad you said that too, cause most people they always say, "Oh, I understand, I get it," but like until you actually live through that, there's no way you can possibly get it. Like I can say all day long, like, "Dang, bro, I feel that." Like I don't because I haven't
yeah,
lost my mom, I haven't lost my dad. Lord, I mean, I wouldn't. I was gonna say knock on wood, but like it's gonna happen. It's a thing that has to happen. But for that to happen to someone at a young age, I can see how that would mentally mess you up because not only did you lose your mom, you like again you lost your dad too.
yeah,
Like you know how strong of an individual
yeah.
y'all. Like I can see the strength of her because she don't ever talk to her, bro. Like she's just a strong. Like yeah, hey, I'm about my business. Don't mess with me. Like I be scared to come to their house sometimes, dog. But not on a serious note though. But like I can genuinely say that actually helped you become who you are. Just because yes, that's a terrible thing that both of y'all had to go through, and I hate that for y'all. But at the same time, it actually made you. It made you go to your grandma
Yeah.
and get that wisdom from her too,
Yeah.
if you think about it. But at the same time, it helped you learn how at an early age how to cope with certain emotions, especially a strong one like that.
Yeah, for real. Damn, I ain't finna crawl in this bitch,
Man,
bro.
quit, nah, bro. You
I
can
just
be
got
vulnerable, bro.
I just got
You can be vulnerable. Be real with your people.
I just got the
I let one drop, bro. I ain't scared. But we be
I
honest
ain't
with y'all,
scared either.
right? But honestly, it's just so much that people don't really take in consideration, especially when it involves mental health. Like another thing too, anxiety.
Yeah. That ties in with it as
And
well.
yeah, and more often than not, depression and anxiety is they pretty much are
Go
tied
hand in
together. Yeah,
hand.
they go
Yeah.
in. Like, do you like? I don't know. You seem to be pretty chill and calm for most part, for the
Yeah.
most part. But do you is anxiety one of the things that you've dealt with, or is just not really been
Yeah, I've definitely dealt with I've definitely dealt with anxiety. Like it is times where I ain't really like being around big crowds and shit. Like like huge crowds and talking in front of people, like a lot of people, like nah, that never been my thing. But now I could probably do it.
Honestly, I was just gonna say that, like, yeah, probably because I can tell them they are people. Me and Michael been kind of dibble dabbling in a little poetry, and he's like, "Hey man,
Yeah.
I want to go to an open mic night. You know, I want to go tell my." This boy got some dope poems. I ain't gonna lie. I know this not even related to mental health, but this boy got some dope poems. But the fact that you are willing to try to get past that part of it is it shows your growth as a
Yeah,
person.
I like to do that for real.
Like, okay, I'm gonna tell you something that most people don't know about me.
Mm-hmm.
My anxiety is terrible.
Yeah.
Like you would think as a comedian, like, bro, you get in front of people on stage all the time. Like, what you gotta be? Like, it's to the point where sometimes Caroline or some of my friends they don't even like being near me before a show just because I'm literally panicking that much.
Yeah.
It mainly stems from like the passion. Like, I really want to do good, but at the same time, I remember I did a show for it was for USC Aiken. It was the talent
Yeah.
show. I was the host and I was actually performing. And I kid you not, before I went, first of all, the rehearsal went terrible. I couldn't even remember none of my jokes. And like, I remember this guy, he was like, "You better remember come Saturday." Like, you better remember come Saturday because they go whatever. And I was like, they made me get more in my head. And when it came to the hosting part was fine. Like, it's just literally me reading off a list and just like interacting with the crowd. But when it came to my set, I was literally just like freaking out. Like, oh my God, y'all, I'm up there. Oh shoot. I'm just sweating. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't. They're like, bro, you fine. Like, do it. Yeah. When on stage, you don't see that. When I'm on stage, you do not see that part of me. It's just like, it goes away. But I kid you not, when I got off stage that day, I literally went to the back and was just like, and just like, I was just on the ground shaking and jumping like that. They're like, what is wrong with you? I'm like my anxiety just get that bad sometimes. And like, I couldn't even announce the next person coming out. I just handed somebody else the mic and just like,
So what would you say is like an adrenaline rush or something?
It's okay. It's not that severe now. I can definitely say my anxiety is not that bad now. But I don't know. It's just, for some reason, I guess it's more pressure on myself than anything. Yeah. Because again, like, I've always been an overthinker and stuff like that. So that kind of makes it even worse. But it's just like, oh my God, what if they don't find this funny? Oh my God, like, what if I don't do this? What if my clothes look okay? It's just like my mind just goes everywhere. And like, I'm like, am I going to remember this? Should I say this? It's just like, my mind is just like rapid fire. And sometimes I just need to, you got this. But I don't know. It's just my anxiety didn't really even, I don't think my anxiety was really even existent until like I started like playing sports. It's so like soccer, it was fine. Basketball, I cared so much about it, I wanted to do good, then I put that pressure on myself. Football, I never played football until like my 10th grade year. So it wasn't like that pressure on me to do good. It's just like, nobody expect much of you. Hey, this is your first time ever playing. But like with basketball, it was just like I wanted to do so good that I became like kind of obsessed with making people see me that I get in my head. Yeah. That makes sense.
And then I feel like it sounds an anxiety as well. Like if you see somebody biting their nails, peeling their nails, or just shaking their leg or something, I feel like that's anxiety as well. Because I used to like, I still to this day sometimes just like peel my fingers. And
I caught you doing that a few times. I ain't gonna lie. That would be.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that can be signs of anxiety as well.
And people don't understand. Like, people just think anxiety like, oh, you're just nervous. Like, anxiety affects, yes, it affects you mentally, but it also affects you physically too. Because like sometimes people with anxiety, they literally cannot breathe. Yeah. Because I haven't had many panic attacks. I had one panic attack before, but again, it's just like it affects you physically as well. And some people don't understand that.
Yeah, I feel like anxiety is a big thing. You got some people who like their anxiety so bad that they can't like go in stores and stuff. Yeah. Like I would not want to be like that at all. Like, cause I feel like that ain't no way to live life at all. But
and it's sad because like most of them can't even like, I ain't gonna say you can't help it, but it's just certain things are just triggering, and like I hate that, but there's certain things that triggering for me too, though.
Like, you never know, like, anxiety, it could stem down from, like, some type of childhood trauma or anything.
Definitely. Yeah. Because it's like a fight or flight trigger thing, but it's in a setting that way. I ain't gonna say normal people because I hate that, but it's just like, it's uncomfortable for one thing. I can't stand it, but also it can be really overwhelming, especially in a time where you just, it just makes you feel not normal. Yeah. Because you trying to figure out what's going on with you and like, why is my body doing this, or like, why, I don't know. It's just a overwhelming feeling that I personally, like that one panic attack I had, I wouldn't wish that on nobody. You can tell me I wasn't dying that day.
Yeah. And I feel like I done had a panic attack as well. Like, it wasn't like no terrible panic attack, but like as a kid when you got to perform something or do like a PowerPoint in front of the class, like I was like, that's where it's like, from. I want to be last, bro. I want to be like in the middle or last. Like, I don't want to go first. Like, I don't like.
That's what. Honestly, I think that's why our generation got it from.
or reading out loud in the class. Like, don't nobody want to do that, bro.
Those little PowerPoints used to be the death of me.
Right? Don't nobody want to do that. Like, legs shaking. I remember, I think I was like at 12. No, I was like 11th grade. I had to read something in front of the class, like stand up and like, I don't like that. Like, I felt my legs shaking. I was like, oh, nah, bro, just calm down. Woosah. And I was just trying to, just like get it over with. Like,
and the thing about it, you know you can read, but at the same time, you can't convince your mind. They're like, oh, shoot, what's this word?
Right. Like, I do not want to read in front of all these folks, bro.
Dang.
And the teachers, I feel like they used to call on your name on purpose. Like, like, oh yeah, he go read. I'm finna get him to read.
You gonna read today? Oh boy, you're shaking like a stripper. Tighten up. Oh man.
But yeah, anxiety, it's a serious thing. A lot of people go through it in their everyday lives. So I feel like we need to shine more light on it and shine more light on depression and whatnot. Because people go through it every day. And some people you may not know. Like, with me, I'm the type of person, like, if I'm going through something, if I'm going through depression, you may not know until I open up and want to talk to you.
And also sometimes with that too, especially when someone is like suicidal, most people you won't know about it until it's too late, or either you start catching like signs, whether it's cutting or whether it's just like emotional changes and stuff like that. You're not gonna really, unless you pay attention, they're not gonna just tell you like I'm suicidal, unless they're really just that strong of a person to admit it.
Yeah.
But like if someone feels alone, they're not gonna just trust you with that information. All they're gonna feel is that pain they're keeping in.
Mm-hmm. And they probably ain't gonna want to tell you because they think you go judge them or whatnot.
And that's the thing. Like, I hate that we've got to a point where you're judged for having mental like issues.
Yeah, that make people
that makes it worse for people. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
you good.
And I know so many people who are scared to open up just because people like, as soon as you tell, for instance, let's say I'm bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
And if I tell someone that, they're gonna automatically be like, oh, let me stay away from him. He might flip. Stuff like that. Like, that's not helping the situation. Or like if I tell you I'm depressed, like, you ain't depressed, you just
you need
man up.
Right. Like,
you'll be alright. But I don't know. People just need to be more sensitive and like just listen to when people actually come to you about it, because it might be too, like I said, it might be too late. Let's say someone tried to come to you about it, you didn't take them seriously, then you can be feeling guilty if they actually go through with something like that, or they just, I don't know.
And then like, what if you the only person somebody could go to? Like, say if it's like a family member or a parent, like somebody going to, and they parent has like that mindset, and you go to your parents saying, "Oh, I got this," or "I've just been feeling down," or whatever, and your parent tell you to, be quiet and go on. Like, don't nobody want to hear that. That's gonna make somebody like want to clash out or whatever. Like, and I feel like we need to do better about that. Like, everybody going through something, whether we want to admit it or not, or everybody that went through something for real.
And I think the important thing too is people need to stop trying to hide what they're feeling.
Yeah.
Like, personally, I know that I used to have a real bad temper, or I used to feel like different type of emotions when it comes to certain situations. But my problem was I used to bottle them up. I'd like just throw a joke over it, like a Band-Aid, call it a day, move on. But literally just like, hey, let me tell you this joke to steer away from what I got going on.
Yeah.
But I've been taught to actually acknowledge what you're feeling. You don't have to just, and this is another thing too, if some people do feel emotions, they feel it too deeply. Yeah. Like, you can acknowledge that something upset you. You can acknowledge that something made you sad, but just, you can't sit in that emotion. You just have to be like, okay, I'm sad about this, or I'm mad about this. How can I move forward?
Yeah, basically get to the root of it, because if you just sit like that, man, you gonna drive yourself crazy.
Oh yes, drive yourself Looney Tune.
You go, and I feel like when we going through these things, when we going through depression, anxiety, or when we get to the point where we feel like we're suicidal or not, I feel like you need to seek the Most High. You need to seek God for real, like, because if we being honest with each other, that's the only person who go, who you can call on and who go actually get you through that for real.
Yeah, praying is a good thing.
Yeah.
Reaching out, even if you're not religious.
Yeah.
But
meditate.
Yeah, I'm about to find an outlet. Hit that. But having a good community is also a good thing too. And like I said, when I was in that facility, I was just so freaked out. Cause I'm like, oh, I'm being here with a bunch of crazies. I ain't crazy. but it changed my perspective. I'm gonna be honest. That place was like a mixture between church. It was a mix between church camp and jail. I promise you. But on a serious note, I went in there automatically thinking everybody in there is gonna be crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm just sad. Like that was my mindset. But actually, spending time and just talking and going through those sessions and just like hearing other people's story who was in there, it made me actually make some friends for like outside of this. Like a few of them I still keep in contact with and check on them, or just like whether it's just sending funny videos or something to each other. We still keep in contact.
Yeah.
But also it was just having that person there who genuinely understood where I was coming from, like which we talked about earlier. It's just like, okay, this is why I was sad. This is why I'm in here. What's your story? And they like we would share with each other, and like we formed a bond over just listening, being there, and
yeah, cause I feel like when you able to talk to somebody who done went through the same thing you went through, maybe they can give you some tips on how to get through it, or they can tell you how they went through it, and maybe you can do it.
Yeah, they can provide some insight.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this, I just feel like it's always good to have somebody you can go to about it.
Yeah, because if we can't go to nobody, who we go to? Like, G.O.D. Who did it? God.
But like it kind of, but also with saying that too, sometimes it makes me sad for the people who don't have anyone to go to, like genuinely don't have anyone to go to. Like it makes me wonder how can they seek the help they need if they don't trust anybody or they don't have nobody that they trust, and that's where we come in. But no, I just feel like finding a way or finding certain ways to try to love yourself first, because if you can't love yourself, don't expect other people to. Right. Or you can't love nobody if you don't love yourself. This goes
hand in hand.
Yeah. But I will say for certain people who genuinely don't have anyone, like I hate that sometimes life deals you a bad hand, but just try to find ways to
get through it. Find ways to know.
Or whatever in life makes you happy, try to pursue that. And because I ain't gonna lie, life is hard for a lot of people, and it's harder for some people than others.
I would just say, like, find hobbies, like do what you love, pursue what you're trying to pursue, and I feel like that'll get your mind off of it for real.
Yeah, and again, acknowledge what you're feeling too. Don't just sit in it.
Yeah, because journaling, that's one of my hobbies. Stand up, that's something that probably gets your mind off of it. This podcast, this our hobby for real. So I feel like this podcast, this is a place where we can come vet y'all for real.
Honestly, yeah, just give y'all our thoughts on stuff like that.
Yeah. And I feel like that's good. We kind of building a little community in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. We are slowly building a community, and we appreciate everyone that's within that community.
Yeah, we're going to have to give y'all a name.
The Hearers. I'm just playing.
The J and Key crew. We're going to have to give y'all a name for real.
But on a serious note, I do feel like mental health, I mean, I will say lately it has been talked about. We have months and stuff now and everything to bring awareness. But at the end of the day, it's always more we can do.
Oh yeah.
Hence the reason I'm wearing my hashtag Field shirt.
Yeah.
Philip Lee was he was a musician and he was a brother and son to a family that I know here in Aiken, and he was a victim of suicide, and because of that they founded the Overflow Foundation and they help him raise awareness as well. I was gonna wear my A Reason to Smile shirt, but I feel like this but like also A Reason to Smile is something that I personally came up with. Like I use my mask for it, but it's basically just go out in life just trying to find one reason a day that helps you smile. That's my personal thing. I try to do that myself. It's just like I wake up some days like, oh my God, I don't feel like doing this, but I'm like, okay, what is something that's going, like, what is one thing I appreciate in life today?
Yeah.
So find your reason to smile. Just have to throw that in there.
Whether it may be family, friends, your future, you know, find some reason. Like if you suicidal or whatever, it may be like find some reason to look to the future. You know, find some reason to smile.
It might be something so small, like, hey, I found a penny on heads today. Like, it might be,
that's good luck.
That's good luck, God. Something don't change.
Yeah.
Well, it could be something as small as like having a cat.
You
like,
could see a baby smile.
Speaking of which, I had a baby smile at me the other day. Babies normally hate me. They make me feel good. It made me feel good.
You could see a baby smile. You know, somebody could do a good deed towards you or whatever.
Or you can do a good deed towards someone else. I will say, being like, honestly, trying to help people, that's another way I feel good. Like, even if I'm down, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna not purposely spread my negative energy. What is a way I could be positive with it? I might try to get a snack for somebody at work or pay for somebody dinner when I'm in line. I can't afford that now. but like, it's been times I did it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, let me pay for this person behind me. And just, that energy comes back. Because honestly, I feel like I owe like 2 people a random dinner now just because they don't came back to me twice.
What black folks be saying? God go bless me.
Oh yeah, God got me. For real. Well, like, it's crazy how they work because literally I would randomly just pay, I had the means to do it. I would pay for a random dinner. Then literally a few weeks later, somebody paying for mine. I'm like, hey, let me be good. But nah. Oh man.
That energy always gonna return back to you. You put out good energy in the world, it's gonna return back to you in some form. You know.
Don't expect it though. Just do it out of the kindness of your heart.
Yeah. That go along with your intentions.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you have pure intentions. Make sure you be good to everybody. Find a reason to smile.
That boy had, well, look at these pearly whites now.
Let's smile together, bro. Team.
Oh man. But we appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to this. This is a topic like honestly, I thought we was gonna get a little more teary-eyed than we did, but like it's still a conversation that I felt needed to be had. We felt needed to be had, and we just want to let people know that hey, you're not alone out there. Like I know I go through it. He's been through it. There's a lot of other people out there going through it too. But don't have too much pride to go get help or to reach out to other people. Or even if you see the signs in someone else, don't be afraid to like, yo, I noticed this in you.
Yeah, I ain't gonna cap. I'm finna cry now.
I saw it in you now.
I'm finna get a little tear.
I like, let me find out a heart out here.
Y'all probably heard my voice tremble a little bit.
Hey, them lips start quivering.
I had to.
Woosah. Nah, when them lips quiver, that's when you try to talk to the lips, be like, just shaking. Well, hey, it got me too. You ain't alone out here in these crying streets. Hey, I'm a man and I cry. I'm proud, damn it. But no, on a serious note, we appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to us and hear us out, man.
Yeah, hear us out. Make sure y'all get us to 100 subscribers so we can continue to spread the positivity and the love. We gonna come up with y'all a name.
We do need a name for the listeners for real. Right. But yes, our goal is to at least reach 100 subscribers by the end of this year. So please tell your mama,
tell your daddy, tell your uncle, tell your grandma, tell your great grandma, tell your
if she alive.
pet. You can tell in spirit, my boy. You can tell your granddaddy, your great granddaddy. You can tell your pet. You can tell your baby. You can tell if you a dude. You can tell
No, don't go there, bro. Don't go there. Don't go there, bro.
If you a dude, you can tell the sperm.
Oh.
you know, tell everybody.
Oh my Lord.
Spread the love. Spread the love.
I knew you was about to say it too.
Spread the love.
But like, comment, share, subscribe. And don't
Everybody
listen
go
to this
subscribe.
man.
Everybody go subscribe.
Oh man. Thank y'all, man.
Spread the love.
You goofy. Where this been? Where has this been? Anyway, we'll catch y'all next time, man. Thank y'all for listening.
Peace.